Hello there, and welcome to Club Film. Joining me today is Alex Barker to discuss Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Welcome.
Longest title ever.
Well, all is Dawn of the is Dawn. It's probably the same length. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it's actually the exact same length. It's both four letters.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're doing a third one as well at some point. I don't know. It makes sense.
I hope so. I know that Matt Reeves is attached, who's the director of Dawn of the Planet of
Yep.
the Apes. He's attached to do the new one. So
Cool. And
yeah.
I imagine Andy Serkis would have to be involved as well.
I'd hope so. I'd hope so. Or his brother Andy Carnival. But, never mind.
Oh, sure. It's Circus
Gotcha.
Carnival, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about the first movie today, maybe hint at stuff in the second, but mainly in the
Mm-hmm.
Rise.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to watching Rise, I did a big marathon watching all 5 of the originals. And
That's a long trip, man.
Oh, yeah. They're on sale on iTunes, so I got it. But,
Well done.
yeah, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is special. I don't know. It sets up this new universe in a different way that makes more scientific sense. You know.
Yeah, as scientifical, I guess, as it could be. Yeah, yeah. It reminds me of Jurassic Park, where Jurassic Park is a definitely a hypothetical, but how they describe the hypothetical makes the most sense.
Yeah, like if we were to potentially create a Planet of the Apes here on Earth, this would be how you do it. You kind of introduce a virus that only affects humans and
Yeah,
only
and makes
apes smarter. Yeah,
smarter. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So it's pretty ingenious virus for the apes.
yeah. Lucky them.
Yeah.
Lucky them.
So how do you want to get into this? I mean, James Franco was pretty big role with this, and the cast overall was pretty great.
I think what I'd like to talk about is kind of when it came out, the expectations for it.
Because it was just following the terrible Tim Burton Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, it was 12. No, what it was 2011 came out, so it was 10 years. It was exactly 10 years after Tim Burton's version came out, which I have yet to see. Though I will say the monkey makeup looks amazing in that film.
The monkey makeup's good. Everything else is bad.
Which is bad.
Well, especially comparing to the original 5. I watched that one first, and it's like, why'd they make this? And then I watched the 5. It's like, oh, they actually had good movies based on.
Yeah. Well, I will say I do like Danny Elfman's score for Tim Burton's Planet.
Yeah,
of the
that's
Apes.
not bad. It's got good percussion stuff in there.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Yeah, but I remember when it came out, everyone was kind of, well, we don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be this. It'll be that. And I think the big publicity came from when people started getting wind that Andy Serkis was going to be Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember they started focusing on the ape aspect of the story in their ads, which I thought was really smart. Because that personally is what made this new series a lot more interesting to me, is the fact that they showed it from the ape's eyes, rather than just straight it from the humans.
Yeah, very much so, and you really do care about Caesar, especially in that first movie and the second, of course. But when he's defending like his not owners but his friends, I guess is the best term for him in the movie. You feel for him because he's just doing his natural instinct of, this guy's being a jackweed, and I need to help out this older guy that's getting picked on, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job in I don't know, providing that heart that often gets put aside in a sci-fi film, where it's more like the concept or the situation is really interesting. Like, did we talk about Edge of Tomorrow on the show? I can't remember. I know we've talked about it.
No, we just mentioned it briefly, I think, offline, yeah.
Okay. I think Edge of Tomorrow, personally, was probably one of my favorite summer flicks I've seen so far. And I think the reason why is that they do such a good job in providing such an intricate concept, but also giving it a much more of a sense of a heart to it, with Cruise's character interacting with Blunt.
Yep.
I don't know. I just appreciate when bigger budget producers / directors / studios remember that it's not all about spectacle.
Yeah, and that's something with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Great special effects, but it wasn't spectacle.
Yeah, there were some spectacular shots, but it
Hmm.
wasn't just about the visuals. Though the visuals, in my mind, well, I don't know. It was such a weird, seamless construction
Yeah,
because
because
you would
like they
have
didn't destroy San Francisco to make this movie, but it looked or Dawn
no,
of the Planet of the Apes,
no,
but it looked realistic.
yeah. Well, and you almost, at least with Dawn, I forgot the entire throughout the entire film that the apes aren't real. Like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
are some
yeah,
there are
they
some
felt real.
instances there's some instances where you look at it, like the orangutan, especially Maurice, that one slow pull shot around him when he kind of does that epic look up kind of thing.
Hmm.
It doesn't look like a computer generated image. It looks like an actual ape.
Yeah.
Um, it's amazed me. I don't know. It amazes me how much better they're getting, and
Hmm.
how I don't know. It just looks so effortless.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's I could not imagine how this stuff comes to be because I understand they do two shots in every for every scene. They do one shot with Andy Serkis or the whatever the motion capture dude is, and they do one shot with the human and just empty space there. So the human has to act against nothing.
that's what they used to do. I don't know if they do that anymore though.
Okay, so they did then Rise. I wasn't sure Dawn if they made advances beyond that.
I mean, because Dawn, I know that they focused more on on-site motion capture, because a lot of it is like outdoors or in an open set area.
Right.
Um, so I'm gonna have to look into that.
So I
I
thought they
will
still
say
did that in Rise because they had scenes in Muir Woods and stuff and
maybe they did.
in Rise. Yeah,
Maybe they did.
it was fun after I had seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes the first time after just had visiting Muir Woods in
Oh,
San
fun!
Francisco. So it's like, oh, I was
Awesome.
there, and oh, they left out the 45-minute drive from where that happened. It's like they just cut, yeah, they cut a lot of it. It takes a lot longer to get to Muir Woods than they made
My
it out to be.
my question is if you climbed on the top of that redwood tree, could you see San Francisco from in the distance? That's my question.
I'm not sure. I did climb to like the top of like just the trail and could overlook some cool things, but I'm not sure if that view is accurate. I'd hope it would be, but I don't
I
think
hope
it
so too.
is.
I mean, not that I'd climb 1,000-foot tall tree anytime soon, but
Yeah,
the opportunity's there.
sure.
Um, yeah, I did like seeing those kind of those familiar uh, sights that you can see
Yeah, San
in San
Francisco's an
Francisco.
interesting city to choose for this because it's. I mean, it's got Muir Woods, of course, which is very appropriate for these apes to live in at some point, and the whole like the Golden Gate Bridge scene in Rise of the Planet of the Apes was just so epic and amazing. And in the Dawn, did you catch this, Alex? They said after a 5 or 6 hour battle on the bridge, they escaped or whatever. So evidently, that scene in Rise was like 5 or 6 hours in real human time.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. I know that the advertising was kind of deceptive with Dawn. Speaking of bridges, I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen the pictures, but it looks like the bridge is blown in half, like
Hmm.
is blown up in the middle. And that never actually happens in the movie, which the only explanation I can think of is that it's a symbol of the bridge between apes and humans is
Yeah.
officially divided.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but
Yeah.
anyway, so I didn't know if you had seen that or not.
I hadn't. No. I'd
Uh,
just seen the face paint on Caesar.
oh gosh,
Yeah.
that first scene. I know we're not talking about Rise right now, but that first scene in Dawn was amazing. It was so cool, so well done.
I really want to see that again. Like, I
Yeah,
need to
me
own
too.
that today. Like, I wish when you watch the movie, they would just like, for $10 or for $50 more, you can own it today in iTunes. Like some crazy premium. Like, let me
Oh, and
get
you know
squared
people
away.
would pay it. People would pay it. Huh.
They would.
Yeah.
I would pay that because I would love that freaking movie.
What's one thing in Rise that you saw that was different that you hadn't noticed before?
Well, the one thing, as I was watching it again, was I actually watched it twice recently, and the second time I noticed when they were getting out Bright Eyes to go downstairs, she was protecting Caesar under the table. And the first time you watch that, you really don't notice that nuance of that's what she's doing. You, of course, see Caesar afterwards, but you don't kind of get the idea of how much she was protecting Caesar.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. One thing I picked up that I had kind of noticed, not especially until my friend pointed it out. I felt really bad for that neighbor, that everything bad happens to him.
The airline pilot?
The airline pilot, yeah.
He's also kind of a jerk, though, at the same time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, he's a jerk. But it's.
But
like
still, like if your car is getting beat up by this old guy, you're gonna get angry. I mean, it's rational.
Well, and if he's an airline pilot, that's a high stress. I don't doubt that's a high stress job.
Yeah.
I mean,
the funny thing, airline pilots. I was watching Catch Me If You Can last night.
Oh, good movie.
Oh yeah, fantastic. And are we in that era where airline pilots are like celebrities? Like, was that used to be a thing? It sounds like it seems like they're not looked upon that highly.
No, well, it's not that they're not looked on highly. It's just that they're just not.
It's a job.
We're we're definitely in the age of football stars and sport players.
Yeah. No, it's so funny in that movie though. It's like, can I have your autograph? This little girl is asking the pilot for an autograph.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Well, and also the stewardesses were all at a particular age. They were most airlines are very selective as to who would be stewardesses.
Oh yeah, it's a fashion show up there.
Yeah. But that's a
but
great
yeah,
film,
the pilot thing was an interesting way to spread that virus around. It makes sense.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice connection. One thing though I didn't notice until watching it recently was so when Caesar breaks into Franco's house to get the ALZ 112. The capsules and and spread it all in the sanctuary place. One thing I didn't realize is when he goes back to the place after stealing this stuff and he starts going through the trees, he lands on the next door neighbor's car and breaks off the front light and then continues on. And it's like, oh man, this neighbor can't cut a break at all. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I thought Rise was a really good film. I feel like when Reeves does the third one, and whatever, I don't know. Hopefully they're not.
This one, it didn't have any exact parallel to the original franchise. It most reminded me of Escape from the Planet of the Apes, where the apes escape their futuristic world and come back, and then that's where the movie started as far as the new world. This one, Dawn, it felt like Battle for the Planet of the Apes in a way, where that's it's where the battle starts of apes versus humans. Done in a much different way, of course, but still. I don't know, because the next movie in the series would be another 20 years if it would follow the other franchise, but I think it's diverging in a big way, and I'm not sure how many. This was 10 years in the future. I'm not sure how far they go.
It was a decade between the two movies. I'd be curious because I feel like Jason Clarke is also has a really good character, as well as Kerry Russell, the main human protagonist.
The helper.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting, and plus, if you can't go too far in the future because then Caesar would just be gone, and I don't think that would be a good.
You need him in there. You need him there, really.
My thought is either Caesar will be on his way out, or something will happen in the process where he dies in the third one, and his son.
His son has to, takes the leadership role.
Takes the leader. I mean, and even you could even tell in the closer to the end of the movie, he was already starting to come into his own, which I thought was cool to see. I mean, I don't know. They've played it out really smart. It reminded me of The Godfather, honestly. as far as like the hierarchical family drama based on a patriarchal society. Like I thought that was an interesting. I just thought that was a very interesting choice.
Yeah, I mean it's logical with the ape, hierarchy how they would operate. But yeah. I mean that totally makes sense. And in the other movies, they had of course Caesar, and he was around for 2, 3, 4, and 5. But and then like at the end of 5, they went many generations forward and showed like a statue of Caesar, and he kind of started it all. So I think they've broadly talked about. Ideally, we'd make enough movies to where our timeline would catch up to the original Planet of the Apes series.
Wouldn't that be crazy? That's like 2,000 years in the future, too.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think either 5,000 or 4,000. It's a while. So.
It's wild, man. Can you imagine the year 4,000? That's like double of this year. 4,000 years into the future.
I can't imagine.
Or 2,000 years in the future.
I can't imagine what the world will be like.
I feel like it'll be like Buzz Lightyear when he asks Woody. He says, "Yes, I'll still use fossil fuels, or have you discovered crystallic fusion?" And then Woody says, "Well, we got double A's."
Now the music in Rise, I liked a lot better than Dawn.
Really? I am the opposite. I am the opposite. Okay. I thought Patrick Doyle's stuff was good.
Because it had more melody. It was more melodic, and I liked the melody.
It did. It's funny. I was re-listening to Giacchino's score for Dawn. He has so many callbacks to the Jerry Goldsmith score of Planet of the Apes. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Rise is a good soundtrack by all means. I just feel as though Giacchino's one feels a little more in place with the rest of the series, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I wish we had Goldsmith around to do scores still.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of them. We got a lot of others out there. But yeah, there's no Jerry. There's no Jerry Goldsmith.
That score is so good, that first one. So, some live questions.
Yeah.
Very worst Planet of the Apes film. He is thinking it's the second one. I'd say either the second or the fifth one, in my opinion, would be the worst of the original 5,
I cannot actually speak to that because I've only seen Charlton Heston's original.
Yeah. Okay.
Rise and Dawn. I've yet to see any of the old 4, or the other 4 old ones, and then Tim Burton's.
Okay.
Film.
So you've only seen the original Planet of the Apes. And
yeah,
then the new
which
ones.
I think, it's funny. The original Planet of the Apes, that ending is so amazing to me because the rest of the movie is just kind of a strange sci-fi, like a Twilight Zone feature-length kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of unnerving in a sense, just because of the situation and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But had the ending not been that way, I don't think it would have had the impact that it has. I mean, just that one shot and them showing where they were kind of blew. I mean, I knew what was going to happen because I'd heard about it before.
Yeah.
But it's so shocking. Yeah. So shocking. You can speak better to that on the worst film.
You could almost connect Godzilla and this series with, the Earth blowing up and boom. Yeah.
You can connect anything, man. It's a cinematic theory. You don't need no Pixar theory.
Yeah. The live action TV series is also worth exploring at some point if you're so inclined. It's
Planet of the Apes?
Yeah. They made 13 episodes.
What?
It stars the main actor from the original movies.
Heston?
No, the main ape actor.
What's
his name? Roddy McDowell.
Okay.
And it's really well done. Almost better than the movies, I'd say. It's on par with that kind of production value.
Interesting.
But the other question or comment, Caesar changed in Rise of Planet of the Apes because he got angry thought his owner had abandoned him.
You're gonna have to say that question again.
Okay.
The Wi-Fi got a little fuzzy.
Okay. But in Rise, Caesar gets very upset at his owner because you're using the Draw app.
Whoops. How do I get rid of that?
I have no idea.
Continue.
I'll just not touch it.
Yeah. Don't.
But his owner basically is forced to bring Caesar to this, very militaristic boarding house, or what's it called?
Yeah.
Animal control, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's my impression that Caesar really only partially understands words and doesn't really understand that I can't do anything to get you out of here.
Right.
And he comes a little bitter towards them, at least at first, at his owner at first, at least.
Yeah, I agree. What was the question? I didn't catch it.
It was just kind of a comment about that scene, and
I understand.
yeah, I don't know, was it right for Caesar to get angry like that? And it seemed like he reconciled a little bit by the time his owner died and on with the virus and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he revisited the house and was looking at the videos and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there really wasn't... Well, there was a goodbye given at the very end of the film, but yeah, it was a...
Yeah, Caesar is home.
Home.
I love the low voice. Caesar is home.
I had a vocal reaction both when he says that and no. For the
yeah,
first
that
time.
was so great when he first said
What?
it.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they played it up very well when they showed his character slowly turning against, not necessarily against humans, but against being part of the human world and like realizing that his home was with his fellow apes.
Yeah, and then humans may enter it, but it's really not there anymore.
Yeah, I like too. They use the symbol with the window in the first one when he draws it and everything, and then he does it, and then they do it again in Dawn a couple of times to show.
It's almost like the Apes' national flag.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I would not be surprised if they made a flag in the third one. I think that would be very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I was. Were you upset that James Franco didn't make the second, or wasn't in the second one? That they pulled him off?
No, because I feel like it cements Caesar in the fact that there's a reason why he still feels for the humans is because he himself has lost loved ones who were humans. Mm-hmm. So it kind of, I think, brings about a better sense of just, I don't know, it brings up more well-roundedness to him. And frankly, Franco's character kind of served his purpose.
He did. He grew up Caesar. He taught him and let him loose.
And I
he brought upon the end of the human race.
Yeah, all his fault.
Pretty much. Entirely his fault.
Way to go, Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
Green Goblin. Yeah. No, excuse me. I think that it's interesting in that in Dawn, the challenge that Caesar has is less so about. It's less so even the fact that he has to interact with humans is that he's interacting with humans he's never met.
And doesn't necessarily trust yet.
Pardon?
And doesn't necessarily trust.
Right, exactly. Like he has to learn how to trust them, which I think is a much more interesting premise to work with in the fact that it's these two unknown bodies of of beings. I should say not people because apes are people, but how two sentient species have to learn how to deal with each other and work with each other. I mean, I don't know. Given all this, it's weird how certain things are so timely. Given with the whole issue with the Russians and Ukraine, in the Crimea Peninsula, the Palestinians and the Israelis.
Is that with all the planes getting shot down? Is that the kind of
that's where that's where I went down. There's that situation. There's the Israeli-Palestine situation. There's the Central American children border crisis happening here in the States.
Yeah,
it's very much about people aren't trusting each other, or
Yeah.
or
The Planet of the Apes
at
movies
odds.
have always been interpreted as social commentary. Even the originals of the chimpanzees, and you have the orangutans as the politicians, you have the warriors as the gorillas,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
even within the apes, they would be prejudiced against other types of apes because of what kind of ape they were.
right,
Like,
right,
yeah.
exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. I mean, I love when sci-fi gives us an opportunity to kind of peel back um, some social issues that we as humans do have. I mean, Star Trek does the same.
Oh, sure.
I've been watching the Next Generation series for a little while now, and it is amazing. It amazes me how like on the nose they sometimes are about like the different things that they're trying to
Hmm.
show a comparison to what was then the early '90s of America and the world.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know, stuff like that. I love sci-fi in that it provides us with social
It's
commentary.
a medium you're able to do more with and not have riots because of it, because you can pass it off as, oh, it's just a sci-fi.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, the scene in Dawn, I know we're kind of jumping between Dawn and Rise in this one quite a bit, but where Kobo pretends to be a dumb monkey and
Yeah,
then moments later shoots the people, that is just so horrific to see that
yeah.
scene play out.
Well, and it's horrific. Because like that's his go-to,
And
and you realize
it's
that.
it's coming too. It's like,
Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
oh yeah. Well, and you know that like the fact that that's his first reaction in order to get out of trouble means that he's done it plenty of times before.
Hmm.
So you can tell that even though he does it, like he hates that he has to do that, and it's very, I don't know, very undignifying for an ape, I suppose.
Oh, sure.
Um, um, but yeah, when he does that 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 sideways gunshot with his mouth hanging open, ooh,
Yeah.
whew, that was creepy. That was really
It
creepy.
was, very
Appar-
much so.
Apparently, they did a couple takes too with it, where there was the first take where uh, Toby Kemmel, I forget the guy's name, who
Hmm.
played Koba. Well, the first time he did it, his mouth was shut, and the second time he did it, he just went like this.
Yeah.
He had his mouth open, which I guess they liked the second take better. So,
Yes. Yeah, I don't want to dig
yeah.
into the finale of Dawn because I don't want to spoil more than we have with Dawn because the ending is
Ending is
amazing.
great. Yeah.
Yes.
All of I will say Rise is a really well done movie. Like it's a really well, it's just a well constructed piece. He got awesome beats.
It's
And there's
succinct
really,
first off. The first
yeah,
movie is really actually not, it's only 2 hours. The second one's a
yeah,
bit longer, but they both felt very well edited.
yeah. Again, in my opinion, Dawn is what there was one person that said this. Dawn is what Empire Strikes Back was to Star Wars.
Yeah,
Is
it
what
builds
Dawn is to
upon the
Rise.
first, and
Yeah,
it does so in a weird way where it kills off the main human characters from the first, which I think that might
yeah.
be a first in sequels. It's just let's kill off all the main humans, and it's like if
Well,
Star Wars existed with only the droids.
yeah, yeah. Well, and not even showing the humans get killed, getting bumped off. I mean, the fact that they just cut right to it, I
Hmm.
thought was really interesting.
I mean, you could almost
Um,
make a 1.5 movie of. I forget. There was a movie called. I think it was. It's basically a movie about how diseases are passed and transmitted, and
Contagion.
yeah, Contagion. You almost like a Contagion kind of movie as a 1.5 there, and
Yeah,
show
yeah,
Franco die off. I mean, you could
yeah,
make it a little. I don't know.
yeah. I thought that
Yeah.
was. I don't know. I thought it was a bold choice. A friend of mine said, and I kind of agree with him. It would have been even bolder had they not even in Dawn shown any clips at all, and then just went straight to the mirror forest.
I like
Um,
the let's catch it up at what happens in the world in the past 10 years.
yeah.
I would have missed that not being there.
I mean, I agree in some
As a
ways.
geek of the original movie and the Planet of the Apes, like I want to know what happened. Explain.
Right, right.
Even
guess
though
you
I
kinda
kind
have
of
to
get
know.
what happened, but you caught tidbits of the 5 or 6 hour fight in the bridge and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't mind that they put it in there. that would have been an interesting choice had they not. I thought it would have been a really bold, I don't know, like a 1970s kind of storytelling move, I feel like.
Yeah. And I love that some people are immune to this virus. That's kind of interesting.
Smart script writing.
Yeah. I wonder if their kids would be immune as well. Or
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. Yeah, it's a genius.
You'd hope so.
But anyways, I think that's all the time we have for today's show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Alex Barker, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Folks can find me. Oh wait, it's reversed. It's on in Skype or Google Chat.
Yep.
This is my Twitter hashtag. It's @Millinerman. MILLINERMAN. I have a Twitter account. You can check me there, and you can also check me out on Vimeo if you so desire. I have a lot of material that I like to put up there, video-wise. It is at vimeo.com/AYB.
Awesome. Easy to remember.
Yeah.
And your handle is in the show artwork in iTunes. So if you don't remember that, just look at the artwork on your iPhone or iPod.
Maybe that's the reason why I've gotten these notices of people starting to follow me that I have no idea who they are.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's possible. It's possible.
Maybe so. That's weird. How about you, Tim? Where can they find you?
Sure. My handle is in the show artwork as well, but it's TCHATEN. It's good for Twitter, Instagram, and all the other places out there, including YouTube, where you can watch video versions of the show. So,
heck yeah.
We'll be back next time for another movie. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, so we'll let you know.
We'll let you know.
Bye-bye.
All right, take care, everybody.